Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rick Mummey Podcast. Think This Way. Rick Mummey Podcast is our title. We're not trying to tell you how to think, but everybody else is. So that's why we came up with the title. On the way, some original music by myself and my partner, Larry Smiak. That comes up in just a little bit. Larry did some amazing production on a song that I wrote and kind of played. So that's coming up. Um, what I wanted to do with this episode was rather than have a guest this time, I thought we'd just have a little chat with me, your host, and a little bit of a newsletter, if you will. I spent the last week filling in the afternoons on a local radio station here in Lafayette, Indiana, Q1067 it was called, and I filled in the afternoon shift for the wonderful Gina Quattrochi. And I hope to get a chance to work with them again soon. We had a lot of fun. Some of you from around the country that were listening online let me know that you heard and had a good time. So we really appreciate that. Speaking of having a good time, my partner Janet and I just spent the weekend in New Harmony, Indiana, down by Evansville, where her parents live. And it's an amazing, amazing town. Really beautiful, mellow town, good food, amazing art, landscaping, um, sculpture, pottery. There's a soap making shop there that was just great. I mean, you could just sit in there forever. It smells so good. An amazing, amazing town founded by a guy by the name of Robert Owen, who was a socialist, what they call a utopian socialist. He set up a couple of communities, including in New Harmony, Indiana. They lasted a couple of years. He was a Welsh philanthropist. He went on to champion workers' rights, child labor laws, free public education. So, quite a forward looking guy, regardless of the labels. And that aside, the town, which is very capitalist at this juncture, is just absolutely beautiful. And I'm not TripAdvisor, but I recommend them as a vacation uh, destination for you. And you don't have to leave the state. You don't got to fly nowhere to go there, which is kind of nice. I wanted to pass along some thoughts I jotted down while I was sitting in the mellowness there in New Harmony, Indiana, about the so called cancel culture. Now, most of us understand that to mean that if you've said or done something that people find offensive, you can expect pushback, including on social media. Some of that pushback might embarrass your employer to the point that they have to discipline, even fire you. If you take these cancel culture cases one by one and consider them objectively, some people get what they deserve, some get way more, and some get away with heinous acts, just kind of like the justice system, eh? Now, some of the targets have been politicians and some have been civilians. The right wing speaks about it as if it were entirely an invention of the left, and the left responds with examples of conservative cancellations. Recently, conservatives in Congress, like Representative Jim Jordan, have deemed it the phenomenon as a threat to people's First Amendment rights and a burden on free speech. Politicians in general seem to be using the cancel culture more as a shield against accountability. But again, that's just me. I did have some thoughts on this stuff, and they'll no doubt be misunderstood because that's the nature of public utterances. But here we go anyway. Um, the so-called cancel culture is not a threat to anybody's First Amendment rights. The First Amendment says the government can't punish you for saying stuff. There isn't any guarantee in the Constitution that you won't catch Hades from the general public about what you have said. The question should be, is your right to do something, either to complain or to make statements, is your right to something the most determining factor in your judgment about whether to say it at all? And if you make your statement, will it help whatever it is you're making a statement about? Are you helping a cause? Are you helping people get freer? Are you really contributing something that will move the issue in a positive direction? Should politicians who are on our payroll be treated differently speech-wise regarding statements and actions they make in office while they're on the payroll? Now, Joe Dokes from the general public expresses a theory about Jewish space lasers and forest fires. Is that different from a currently serving congressperson, for instance, saying it? Is there any statute of limitations on a negative or offensive action or statement? Can anyone can any person evolve in their attitudes to bring them more up to speed with current sentiments about race, gender, etc.? Or must they be socially punished for something they said or did a long time ago, even if that is not their attitude now? How much social opprobrium is appropriate? Responses seem to range from barbed verbal criticism to job loss to death threats. I'm obviously asking more questions than making conclusions. I think social media can be like drugs, guns, fire. You can speak out against injustice or pile on the latest pariah. You can see your disease be cured, or you can be a junkie. You can drive the kids to school or drive into protesters. It's all about considering the effects of what you're saying or doing. It boils down, to me at least, to the idea that we should all do our best to be ethical people. And at the same time, resisting injustice while sometimes considering whether our contribution to ongoing squabbles will provide clarity or resolution to a situation or just increased volume. Never a bad idea to count to 10. And particularly given the current sentiment of the times, what can happen to you if you PO enough people? You shouldn't have to be careful about what you say, but you can't say things without consequence. It's a thorny situation. I'd like to hear what you think about it, and that's what the comments are for. So please, while you're liking and commenting and subscribing, you can tell me I'm full of it if you'd like. That I appreciate that. And it won't be the first time I've heard it. So we appreciate your being around and having this kind of little chat, letting me sort of air what I think on a particular issue there. Right now, I want to finish up with a song done by myself and produced by my music partner, Larry Smiak. We have a number of things on our Rick and Larry YouTube page. You might want to check that out. Mostly of those are covers. There are a couple of original things on there. And this is one of those. It's called The Smart Money. I hope you enjoy. I thank you for doing so. And again, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. More guests and more shows are on the way. Thanks.
I don't think we comprehend our real life situation, and it seems the epic fail that put an end to what we crazily call dreams. We met, we tried, we crashed and burned. Parting was a gift to you and me, such sweet sorrow nonetheless. And any heart with eyes can see. Smart money says it's never gonna be. The smart money says you're gonna set me free. Turning back the pages now, trying to figure out what went wrong. Thought we once had felt the spark. Now the thrill is clearly gone. Big and cool and confident, stumbling on every step of the way. Fruits of reckless arrogance taste more bitter every day. Smart money says it's never gonna be. The smart money says you're gonna set me free. Smart money, never ever been wrong yet. your money on. Put your money on. Put your money on.